All right, so for 10.4, our distributive property, okay, if we recall from our modeling question, let's say I have 2x plus 3 equals 12, all right, this is the number, this is however many times I have this. So I have x plus 3 2 times. All right, well, in total, how many x's do I have? I have 2 x's. And in total, how many ones do I have? Well, 3 plus 3 is 6. And that would be my new equation, okay, if I was modeling this. So if we want to look at this, there should be a little trick that's going to help us, okay? And it's called the distributive property. And what that means is whatever number here is in front, we are going to multiply it to each value on the inside, okay? So 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 3 is 6. So we end up with 2x plus 6, and this 12, it's not affected because it's on the other side of the equation, okay? So that is not affected by the distribution, okay? So what I like to call this is the rainbow, all right? The 2x plus 3 equals 12, okay? I want to think of it like a rainbow, okay? I have to rainbow the 2 to one value, and I rainbow the 2 to the other value, all right? And I will be left with 2x plus 6 equals 12, okay? Because 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times 3 is 6. So 2x plus 6 is 12. And now I would solve it the exact same way we did in 10.2. I start by getting rid of the constants using opposite operations. So I have a plus 6 here. I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. Plus 6 minus 6 is 0. So I'm left with 2x on this side, and 12 minus 6 is 6. Then my second thing is I got to get rid of the coefficient using opposite operations. 2 times x, so the opposite is going to be divided. So 2 divided by 2 is 1x. What I do to one side, I have to do to the other. And so I'm left with x is equal to 3. All right, and that's how I'd solve it. So that's a simpler equation because we didn't have any values of x in front, okay? It was a very simple one. So let's do a rainbow with something a little bit more challenging. Let's say 3, 2x plus 1 equals 9. All right, so again, let's practice the distributive property, okay? The rainbow, okay? If we thought about this, 2x plus 1 plus 2x plus 1 plus 2x plus 1. Okay, because if I have 3 times 4 plus 1, all right, we're used to doing, okay, whatever's in the bracket, I do that, all right? So I go, okay, 4 plus 1, that's 5, all right? And remember, the number in front of a bracket, this means 3 times 5, okay? If we have a number in front of brackets, we're multiplying. But I could also use the rainbow. I can rainbow it into both values. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 3 times 1 is 3. And 12 plus 3 is 15, which is the same value. So both of these work. The problem is when we don't have a value in there, this is an x, we can't solve what's in the bracket first. So we have to use that rainbow or that distributive property, okay? So if we counted how many x's we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 x's, and 1, 2, 3 1s. And that would be our new side of this equation. All right, but let's use our rainbow to do that. So let's look at this from the rainbow perspective. So let's use our rainbow. So 3, we're going to rainbow it into the first value. Okay, what's 3 times 2x? Well, any number you multiply by x, you kind of disregard the x. You don't worry about the x. Okay, all you're going to do is you're going to multiply these numbers. 3 times 2 is 6, okay? And then we add an x to it, all right? Because there was an x there, okay? Even if you think about it, I have 3 of 2x, okay? So if I have 2x 3 times, that means I have 6x, okay? I have 6 x's. So that's what it means. So 3 times 2 is 6. There's an x there. Great, that's the first one. And then we have to rainbow to the other one. Well, what's 3 times 1? Well, 3 times 1 is 3. Okay, a positive 3, so plus 3 equals 9. And then again, I solve it the exact same way, getting rid of my constants first using opposite operations. Okay, sorry, that's confusing. Let's do that again. So minus 3. Plus 3 minus 3 is 0. What I do to one side, I do to the other. I'm left with 6x is equal to 6. And then to get the x by itself, I have to do the opposite operation here. So I'm going to divide both sides by 6. I'm left with 1x on this side, and 6 divided by 6 is 1. So x is equal to 1. Okay, remember, we don't have to write the 1. Okay, they mean the same thing. It's like a little invisible 1. Okay, and that is how we would solve questions of that type. Okay, be very careful for this question. All right, let's say this was a minus 1. Then you'd have to be super careful with your equation. All right, so this would still be 6x, but 3 times, oh, this is a negative 1. 3 times negative 1 or minus 1. 3 times 1 is 3. And a positive times a negative is negative, and that would be your answer. So you have to be really careful about the sign that's in front. Okay, same thing. If this was a negative 2x, well, 3 times 2 is 6. A positive times a negative is negative. So you just have to be very careful with the signs.